Hello, this video is what I think about bicycle touring. Bicycle touring is totally awesome. I love bicycle touring. Let me tell you about some of my bicycle tours, and then I'll explain why I think it's totally dope. First time I bicycle toured was like in '96. I rode my bike from Boulder to Moab, but then my left knee went bad in Moab. So I actually had a friend from Telluride pick me up and drive me back to Telluride, and I was there for like a week, and my knee got better. And so then I rode my bike with my brother from Telluride to Sedona and back in 10 days. And we spent a day in Sedona tripping. That was fun. And on that particular tour, that was my first tour. I guess it was a little bit heavy. There's lots of different kinds of ways you can bike tour. You can bike tour with pioneers. And that was on a mountain bike on the road. With panniers on the back, and I think maybe on the front, the cooker and all that stuff. And then I toured. The second time I went touring, I rode from Durango to San Diego in 5 days. I was going to ride from San Diego back to Durango. It was for spring break at school. But my knee went bad again, so I had to take the bus. Then the third time I rode my bike from Boulder to halfway across Kansas. I was going to ride all the way to visit my grandmother in Blacksburg, Virginia, but I kind of got bored, so I just took the bus. And that time I had a trailer. I had a whole bunch of stuff with a huge bag on it. I don't know what the deal with. I was gonna like travel and with a whole bunch of stuff. But anyways, and then I toured from all over, Europe, England, and all those countries in Western Europe and Morocco and stuff. And that time I was really light on a mountain bike again. But I had a front little box on the front and with stuff, and then the back it was just a rack that came off the seat post where I had I think my sleeping bag and like my bag stuck to it, and that's all I had. And I was going really fast, and that was the lightest that I had traveled. Well, actually, I traveled lighter than that when I went to San Diego, but then the next time, well, I did the Annapurna circuit. That's, you can consider that bike touring in Nepal. Then I rode down Southeast Asia with all those countries, and then Australia. And in Australia, I had a mountain bike and I had panniers. But I didn't have any panniers on the front, so that was kind of light. And then I rode my bike from Boulder or Austin to Mexico City, and then my bike was stolen while I was climbing the mountain just south of Mexico City. But then I bought another bike in Guatemala, and so I did, all of Central America down to Panama, and then South America, kind of like bike touring between some towns, and then taking the bus when I didn't feel like bike touring. I just throw the bus on the roof, and I saw these other girls who were doing that too. I noticed it was kind of cool, but and then I sold my bike for $15 to a campesino in Bolivia because I just lost motivation because that was back when I only had cassettes and I didn't have MP3. And then like 2 days later, I met this like German kid who wanted a mountain bike on his tandem bike across Bolivia and Plano with me. So I did that, and that was actually the last time that I went bike touring, and this was like 8 years ago. So I'm gonna go bike touring again here pretty soon. 420. I'm gonna go bike touring again here pretty soon. In New Zealand. And so let me talk a little bit about bike touring, what it is for me, and how it's cool. Now, before I wasn't really motivated about bike touring. I abandoned that last tour because I just got bored. But now but that was back when there was cassettes. Now there's this thing called MP3 with gigabytes. So I'm gonna have so much music. It's gonna be wacky. It's gonna be awesome. You get high off of it. You get high off of any kind of athleticism. I think junkies and athletes are the same people. You know, one life you're a junkie, next life you're a you're an athlete. You know, this parallel universe you're an athlete, next parallel universe same person, you're a junkie. Same people, because it does the same thing. They both get you high. It's just that the junkies fuck their bodies, and the athletes, their bodies get stronger. So athletes are smarter, junkies are stupid. But it gets you high as a kite. The endorphins and all that, and you're sweating, you know, and then sweat becomes this, like, instead of this nasty sticky fluid, smelly fluid, and it probably literally is for people who are out of shape with all the toxins in there coming out. Sweat is actually this glistening, you know, wonderful fluid that you just want to lick off your body, and it tastes wonderful, you know. Like, I lick sweat off my body, you know, when I'm not in shape, and it tastes nasty, but when you lick the sweat off your body when you're sweating and you're bike touring and you're pure and clean, it tastes great. It's like water. And it's not even sticky, you know, you can sleep dirty and stuff. It's not that bad. But, so I'm excited. Yeah, kind of the one bummer about bike touring is that you have to sleep dirty sometimes. But now, when I did Europe, I slept in the bushes. Well, actually, every time I bike toured, I slept in the bushes, except for when I was in Mexico, well, in South America and Southeast Asian poor countries, because I suppose it's dangerous to sleep outside, and also the hotels are cheap enough that you can get a room. But when I do New Zealand, I'm going to do sleep in the bushes. And then when I go into the Southeast Asia, I'm going to do the hotels, you know, in China hotels. I'll go, maybe I'll do Japan, in which case I shall definitely sleep in the bushes. I wasn't spent a weekend in Tokyo, and I slept in the bushes for 2 nights there. And that worked out pretty good. Mm-hmm. And I heard it's actually legal too, as long as you get up before sunrise. And my brother did that in a park in Tokyo, but then he was like woke up with this territorial bum kicking him. So I don't know if that'll work, but anyways, I want to ride my bike from Southeast Asia all the way to Europe, if I can afford it. We'll see. I have credit cards that I could take a loan out of. But I'm motivated to try to do it really cheaply. I'm going to start my tour at the beginning of November, maybe the 10th of November. I think I'm going to get the ticket. And then what I want to do is I want to do the 24 hours of Moab bicycle race, where it's like 24-hour bicycle race just for you. Like how far you can go in 24 hours, just you. And I should win it. I mean, I should set the course record, actually, if I do that, because bike touring makes you really strong. Obviously, there's different kinds of bike tourists. There's the lollygagger bike tourists. Those people are never going to win a race. But then you have like the hammerhead bike tourists, and those guys are going to win the race. You know, but most of the time, bike tourists, their personality types are such that they're the lollygagger types, and bike racers, their personality types are such that they're not particularly adventurous. So, but I think in the future, everybody who wins one of those races is going to be because they were bike touring. I think that's the best way to get strong. I think I was really strong the biggest bike tour I ever did was when I was in Australia, and I can't remember how long I did the tour for because I was so high, but on weed. But I think it was like a couple months or something. And I definitely felt a glass ceiling in terms of my strength, because I was so high, that smoking so much weed, that I guess I wasn't riding all day long because I was smoking so much, but also I was always having constant asthma, so I couldn't, you know, my lungs were never actually pure enough to get me really fast. But I'm not going to be smoking weed anymore because I can't, literally, in my lungs. So that should work. So anyways, I want to make a website for my tours, where I out of time. You know what? I'm gonna have a part 2 to this.